Her hands trembled as she placed the beautifully wrapped box down on the kitchen counter. Seconds later, the muffled sounds of laughter echoed from the bedroom. She froze, the smile on her lips vanishing. Before we dive into this story, I need to know something. Can you imagine returning home for Christmas, only to find everything you thought you knew falling apart? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you've ever had your heart broken in the worst way, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to hear how this ends. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. The story opens with the woman driving home on Christmas Eve, excited to surprise her husband. The roads are familiar, the stores are lit with Christmas lights, and there's a sense of joy in the air, except she's feeling a twinge of unease. There's an undercurrent of uncertainty in her thoughts as she wonders if her marriage is as solid as it used to be. She arrives home with a large, beautifully wrapped box, containing a gift that symbolizes a fresh start or reconciliation. We get flashes of her daily life, the busy grocery store run, the lingering texts between her and her husband, and a sense of optimism she has held on to, hoping this Christmas will repair the distance between them. The house is decorated for Christmas. Warm lights flicker in the background, but there's something eerily off. As she walks through the door, she hears laughter from the bedroom. Her confusion turns into suspicion, and as she cautiously steps closer, her worst fears are realized when she sees her husband in bed with her best friend. The emotional fracture is immediate. The Christmas lights, once a symbol of warmth and connection, now feel like an ironic mockery of her shattered world. The confrontation between the woman, her husband, and her best friend unfolds slowly, with cinematic detail. The scene lingers on each character's expressions: confusion, guilt, shock, and regret. The protagonist stands frozen in the doorway, unable to comprehend the scene in front of her. The sounds of Christmas music from the living room clash with the chaos of this betrayal. Her husband tries to explain, but nothing he says feels real. The best friend doesn't even know how to meet her eyes. The protagonist is crushed, her hands shaking as she stares at the two people she loved most, now standing exposed in her pain. But neither of them knew. This was only the beginning. Sometimes you just don't see the cracks until it's too late. If you've ever experienced the pain of betrayal, you know how hard it is to forgive. That's why subscribing means so much. It's not just a button. It's a way of standing with someone who's been through this kind of heartbreak. The protagonist retreats into herself, overwhelmed by the emotional devastation. She shuts down, unable to process the betrayal fully. She keeps replaying the moment over and over in her head. Her husband, her best friend, the laughter that should have been comforting but now feels like an accusation. Her instinct is to run, to leave, to forget it all. But where could she go? What would she be running from anyway? The loss of love? The shattering of a life she built for years? The reality is, she feels trapped. Trapped by her emotions, trapped by her memories, and trapped by the Christmas Eve that now represents everything wrong in her life. She decides to act as though nothing happened. She'll ignore the scene. She'll return the wrapped gift to her car. She'll make herself dinner. Anything but face the wreckage of her heart. But even in her attempt to act like everything is normal, the truth keeps finding its way into every quiet moment. Her husband's desperation is met with silence as she tries to create distance. Yet each attempt feels hollow. The coldness between them hangs thick. His guilt stares back at her like a mirror. The house feels too small, too familiar, like a place she no longer recognizes. Pride is a liar, and theirs was about to cost them everything. The next morning, it's Christmas Day. The protagonist has opted to stay, despite her broken heart. There's no escape, at least not yet. The husband and best friend try to offer an apology, but the tension in the air is suffocating. They are all stuck together, in the house they once shared in peace. They've forced the protagonist into a situation she's not ready for. She must look them in the eye, day after day, knowing what they've done. Her best friend avoids eye contact, while her husband is too ashamed to speak up. The emotional proximity they share is both unbearable and suffocating. She's caught in a moment of weakness, a vulnerability that terrifies her. As much as she wants to turn off her emotions, they're there, raw and unrelenting. It's too much to ignore, too much to pretend like everything is fine. Her husband sees her in that moment, her eyes softening, the flicker of hope that still lingers there despite everything. She saw it then, the fracture in his armor, and it terrified her. Have you ever been stuck with someone who made you feel too much? Tell me what happened. 15 to 25 words. Conversational tone. Christmas morning ends, but the weight of the day doesn't lift. The house feels quieter than ever before. It's like time's moved forward, but everything around the protagonist is frozen. The silence presses in, and the air feels heavy, thick with unspoken things. There's no denying it anymore. Things are broken. The life they had built, the trust they had formed, it's all cracked. She can't look at him without feeling this sharp, jagged pain. Her husband, the man she thought she knew, stands across from her, his eyes full of guilt, regret, and something else, fear. He's afraid of losing her. But is that enough? The words are like a knife, and she feels them deep in her chest. He doesn't know. He doesn't even understand how much he's shattered everything that meant something. She moves through the day like a ghost. The house is the same, but it's different now. Her friend is still there, still pretending things can be okay. Her husband hovers, trying to help with the dishes, with the small things that don't matter anymore. The Christmas decorations, once so full of warmth, now feel out of place, like a cruel reminder of everything lost. As they sit at the kitchen table, a bottle of wine between them, Jake reaches out, his hand trembling as it touches hers. But she pulls away. She can't do this. She's too angry, too hurt. The sting is too fresh. Pulling her hand back, "You didn't just hurt me. You hurt us. You hurt everything we were supposed to be." She stands, her voice quieter but with a strength she didn't know she had. The room is thick with tension. The house that once felt so full of life, full of love, is now suffocating. She grabs her coat. It's time to leave, if only for a little while. She doesn't know where she's going, but she knows she can't stay in that house, surrounded by memories of a life that's no longer hers. She steps outside, the cold air hitting her face. The snow has started falling, soft and slow, covering everything in a blanket of white. Feels surreal, beautiful, even in a way that's cruel. Her heart feels just as blank, just as covered up with snow. She tries to shake it off. This isn't about the snow. It's about him, about them, about everything they built. But there's something inside her, deep down, that says she can't just walk away. Not yet. She hasn't given up completely, and that's what scares her the most. She hears footsteps behind her. Jake. She doesn't turn around. Jake, pleading, "I'm sorry. I know I've messed up, but I need you. I love you, Jess. I don't know what I was thinking. I was stupid. I don't want to lose you." She wants to scream, but her voice catches in her throat. She wants to yell that it's too late, that he's lost her. But all that comes out is a soft sob, choking back tears. "You don't get to say that. You don't get to do this. Then say you love me." She stands there, breathing through the anger and the hurt, but nothing changes. The snow falls in soft, cold layers around her. She's surrounded by everything familiar and yet feels more alone than ever. Jake reaches out again, his hand hovering in the air like he's waiting for permission, like he's waiting for her to trust him again. But she pulls away, her heart screaming to be free from this moment. The best friend, still in the house, has made no attempt to leave. She's not sorry enough. She's not really acknowledging what she's done, what she's taken from Jess. But right now, it's not just about forgiveness for Jake or her best friend. It's about facing herself. In the stillness of the cold, Jess realizes that this betrayal, this heartbreak, has shattered more than her relationship. It's cracked who she thought she was. She has to rebuild from the ground up. The snow crunches beneath her boots as she walks away from Jake, from the house, from everything. For the first time in a long time, she's choosing herself. She's choosing to heal. But it doesn't feel like a victory. It feels like an open wound. The truth has a way of finding light, even when you've buried it in the dark. It's been 2 days since Jess left the house. The holidays are still here, but everything feels wrong. The world outside is cold, but inside, it's worse. The house that once felt like a sanctuary now feels empty. Her best friend is gone, taking her shame with her. Jake is still here, and he hasn't left either. But Jess knows that leaving, physically or emotionally, isn't enough. She's done the thing she promised herself she wouldn't. She's let him back in, but only a little. The conversations are sparse, just awkward moments where they sit in silence, staring at nothing, not knowing how to start again. She isn't ready to forgive him, not yet, but part of her wonders if she'll ever be. She heads to a local diner the next morning, trying to find something to ground her. The kind of place you go when you need to think, when the world feels too big and too small all at once. It's a small, cozy place on the corner of Main Street. The smell of eggs and bacon fills the air, but it does nothing to ease the tightness in her chest. She orders coffee, watching the steam rise from the cup. For a moment, she feels like herself again, before everything fell apart. But the peace doesn't last long. She glances out the window, and there he is. Jake. He's standing across the street, looking lost. It's like he's been watching her, waiting for a sign, for permission to come closer. He crosses the street, his footsteps heavy on the pavement. Jess doesn't know why, but her heart races. She hasn't seen him in days, and even though she's angry, even though she feels betrayed, there's a part of her that misses him. The familiar ache in her chest is undeniable. He stops in front of the diner, his eyes searching hers. There's no warmth in the air, only the cold bite of winter, but it's his voice that hits her hardest. It's cracked, strained. He's been crying even if he won't admit it. She can see it in the way his hands are shaking, in the way his shoulders slump. Jake. Quietly, almost pleading, I'm sorry. For everything. For how I hurt you. For everything I did. Jess. Staring at him, voice shaking. Sorry? Is that all you can say? After everything? I don't need your apologies, Jake. I need you to understand what you've done to me, to us. She stands up abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor, loud in the quiet diner. The waitress, who's seen them both here too many times, looks over, but Jess doesn't care. She grabs her coat, ready to leave, but Jake steps in front of her, blocking her way. His eyes are full of desperation, full of the kind of guilt she's never seen in him before. Jake, voice breaking, I was scared, okay? I was scared of losing you. I was scared of how we were falling apart. And I made a terrible mistake. Please, Jess, don't walk away from me. The words hit harder than they should. She wasn't expecting him to confess like this. She wasn't expecting him to break down in front of her. She was expecting him to run from the consequences. But instead, here he is, facing them head-on, raw and vulnerable. She wants to scream. She wants to tell him she can't do this. But her voice catches in her throat. The pain from the betrayal still weighs heavy on her heart. But what is this? What's left between them now? Can she really forgive him? Can she trust him again? Jess. Quietly, almost to herself. I don't know if I can love you the same way anymore, Jake. I don't know if I can ever trust you again. There's a long silence between them. The world outside seems to stop for a moment, frozen in time. It's just them standing there, two people caught in a moment they can't take back. The diner feels too small, the space between them too large. Jake swallows hard, his hands still trembling as he tries to find the words that will fix this. But nothing can fix it. Not now. Jake, with quiet conviction, I don't expect you to forgive me right away. I know it's going to take time, but I'll wait, however long it takes. I love you, Jess, and I'll do whatever it takes to show you that I mean it. Her heart cracks a little, not because of what he said, but because of the weight of his words. The truth is there, hanging in the air between them. She has a choice now, to walk away, to leave him behind, or to stay and try to rebuild something that feels broken beyond repair. She doesn't answer. She can't. She doesn't know what the right answer is anymore. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes it's just the beginning of goodbye. Jess doesn't know how long she's been walking, but it feels like hours. The wind is sharp, the kind that cuts through layers of clothing and leaves you feeling raw. It's late in the afternoon, the sun low in the sky, casting a soft orange glow over the empty streets. The world feels still. She keeps walking, her steps heavy but deliberate, as though every part of her is telling her to move forward, away from the pain, away from the past. But it's not that easy. She's tried to walk away from Jake so many times. Each time, her feet take her a little farther. But today, she doesn't know where she's going. She needs something to make sense of this. She needs to understand if it's worth fighting for, or if it's just time to let go. She finds herself at a park. It's small, tucked away on the outskirts of town, with swings that creak in the breeze and a basketball court that's empty except for a few kids on bikes. The benches are cold, but she sits anyway. She looks at her phone. No messages. Just a few texts from her mom checking in, but nothing from Jake. She spent the last few days running in circles, avoiding the truth. But now, sitting in this quiet park, it's hard to ignore. The truth is right there in front of her, and it hurts. Everything hurts. The betrayal, the doubt, the questions she can't answer. She hears a car pull up behind her. It's Jake. He gets out, slow at first, like he's not sure if he should approach. His eyes meet hers, and for a moment, it feels like the world has stopped. There's no sound except the soft rustle of leaves and the distant laughter of children. He's not trying to apologize anymore. He's not begging her to stay. He's just there, standing, waiting. Jake, softly, I know I don't deserve to ask anything of you, but I need you to know this. Everything I've done, every mistake, it was me. It wasn't you. It was never you. Jess doesn't respond at first. She just watches him, her heart heavy. She knows this is the moment. This is when everything changes. Jess, quietly, why did you do it, Jake? Why hurt me like that? The question hangs in the air, thick and painful. Jake runs a hand through his hair, looking down. His voice cracks when he answers. Jake, with regret. I was scared, Jess. I was terrified. I didn't know how to talk to you. I didn't know how to fix what was broken between us. So, I made a choice I can never take back. But I swear it wasn't about you. It was about me. I thought I was losing everything and I acted out of fear. I hurt you because I couldn't face my own mess. There's a long silence between them. Jess feels the weight of his words settle in her chest. She's been waiting for him to admit the truth. But now that he has, she feels torn. She has so many questions, so much pain. How can she forgive him for something like this? How can she just let it go? But in his eyes, she sees something she hasn't seen in weeks. Vulnerability, realness. Jake isn't just sorry. He's showing her the broken pieces of himself. And for the first time in a long time, Jess doesn't feel so alone. Maybe that's what she's been searching for. Someone who could stand in their brokenness with her. Jake, stepping closer. I'm not asking for you to forgive me today, Jess. I'm asking for you to let me show you, every day, how much I regret what I've done. I'm asking for a chance to make it right, to prove to you that I'm worth loving again. Her heart races, torn between the anger she's been holding on to and the small, fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, he's telling the truth. But she's scared. She's scared of trusting him again. She's scared of getting hurt all over again. Jess, looking away, her voice trembling. I'm scared, Jake. I don't know if I can go back to that place. I don't know if I can ever love you the way I used to. Jake watches her closely. There's no urgency in his movement, no desperation. He's waiting for her. He's waiting for her to make a choice, and he's willing to give her the time she needs. Jake, gently, I'm not asking for you to love me the same way. I'm asking for a chance. A chance to show you who I can be now, who I want to be, for you. The wind picks up again, and Jess pulls her coat tighter around her. It's cold, but it's not just the weather making her shiver. She's freezing on the inside, caught between the past and the future. She has to make a choice, to forgive or to walk away. Her thoughts swirl in her head. She thinks of the good times, the love they shared, She remembers how easy it used to be, how right it all felt. But she also remembers the betrayal, the hurt, the way everything changed overnight. What if she forgives him and he betrays her again? What if she lets him back in, and it's all just another lie? But then, she looks at him, really looks at him. And for the first time in a long time, she sees something different. There's no more pretending, no more masks. He's standing there, bare and vulnerable, asking her to see him. Not as the man who hurt her, but as the man he's trying to become. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough for her to take the first step toward healing. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing love anyway. Christmas morning comes again, but this time, it's different. It's quieter, slower, filled with a sense of peace that hasn't been there in a long time. The snow falls gently outside, covering the world in a soft, white blanket. Jess sits by the window watching it fall, her thoughts wandering back to the night everything changed. The night she almost lost everything. She can still feel the weight of that pain, but it doesn't hurt like it used to. Something's shifted. A choice was made. Jake hasn't been perfect, but neither has she. They've both hurt each other, in different ways, but they've also learned, grown, and found their way back to each other. She doesn't know how they got here, how they made it through the mess of the last few weeks. It wasn't easy. It wasn't smooth. There were days when it felt like they were miles apart, even when they were in the same room. But little by little, step by step, they've been finding their way back to what really matters. There's a knock on the door. Jess stands, her heart skipping a beat, and opens it. There's Jake, standing there with a small, simple gift in his hands. He looks different, softer somehow, like he's learned something about himself, about them. His eyes are full of hope, but there's something else there too. He's not just asking for forgiveness anymore. He's showing her he's ready to try, ready to rebuild. Jake, smiling, shyly, "Merry Christmas, Jess." She looks at him for a moment, unsure. But something in the way he's standing there, vulnerable, honest, full of hope, pulls her toward him. She can see how much he wants this, how much he wants them. Jess, softly, "Merry Christmas, Jake." He steps forward slowly, holding out the gift. Jess hesitates before taking it. It's small, wrapped simply in plain brown paper with a red ribbon. She unwraps it carefully, and inside is a picture frame. The photo is of the two of them, taken at a fair last summer. Bright, happy, full of laughter. It's one of those moments that feels frozen in time, a reminder of a love that's been tested but hasn't given up. Jake, softly, "I know it's not much, but I thought, maybe we could start again. This time, slowly. One day at a time. No rush. Just us." Tears well up in Jess's eyes as she looks at the photo. She can't help it. It's like a floodgate opening, all the love, all the pain, everything they've been through, all rushing back. She's not sure if she's ready to forget everything that happened, but she knows she's ready to move forward. "Jess," her voice shaky, "I don't know if I can forget what happened, but I want to try. I want to heal. With you." Jake doesn't say anything for a moment. Instead, he steps forward, wrapping his arms around her. It's not the kind of hug that fixes everything right away. It's not a perfect moment, but it's real. And in that embrace, something shifts. Something begins to heal. They stand there, together in the quiet of the room. Outside, the snow continues to fall, the world turning softly, slowly, into something new. Later, they sit together on the couch, wrapped in blankets, the warmth of the fire crackling in the background. The tree still stands in the corner, decorated with the same ornaments they've always had. But this year, it feels different. This year, the lights feel warmer, the decorations more meaningful. Jake reaches over, taking her hand in his. The touch is soft, gentle. They don't need words right now. The silence between them feels comfortable, familiar. They've made it through the hardest part. Jake, softly, "I'm not perfect, Jess. I'll never be. But I'm here, and I'll always try. For you. For us." Jess, looking up at him, "And that's enough. That's all I need." She leans in, kissing him softly. It's not a kiss of passion or desperation. It's a kiss of understanding, of rebuilding, of starting over. Love, real love, isn't perfect, but it's worth fighting for. The camera pulls back, showing them sitting together, side by side, watching the snow fall outside. The world is still quiet, as if holding its breath. There's a sense of peace now, a sense of quiet resolution. They've both made mistakes. They've both been hurt, but they've come through it together. Jess, softly, almost to herself, maybe we don't need a perfect Christmas. Maybe we just need each other. The camera fades, leaving them there, in their quiet moment, a small but powerful reminder that sometimes love is worth the wait. Do you believe some people are worth the wait? Drop a heart in the comments if this story hit you. Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazier and more intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.